It's episode 50, and it's also the cast 1 year anniversary yesterday. This is the Kings of Rice.
That was Ultima.
And Blue Guy.
This is MGT
Loogie.
Cast.
Loogie.
So, we are all three together once again, and we are talking about obscure things. Well, lightweight. But the topic for today is I'm just gonna bounce the subject a little bit because we were talking about whether or not okay, but anyway, it's games. We're going to be talking about games that we like that other people don't, but then we hit a gray area where it was like maybe let's just say we're just going to say maybe it wasn't that bad of a game, but like maybe people haven't heard of it. So it's like games that people didn't like or probably didn't hear of. So
Yeah.
So it insists upon itself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Insists upon itself.
So we're going to be talking about 2 games each, and there's 3 of us equals 6. So I guess I'll start, and we'll start all the way back to 1986 in Japan, 1989 in the U.S. We were 1 year old, depending on. It doesn't say an actual date for the North American release. It just says 1989. So
I like how we didn't get it for 3 years.
all right, King's Knight is a scrolling shooter made by now Square Enix, then Squaresoft, for the Nintendo Entertainment System and the MSX. Japan, September 18, 1986. North America, once again, not just 1989. Came out on the Virtual Consoles in 2007. Japan, 2008. North America. And the 3DS in Japan in 2014? Question mark? No, not really question mark, because it says what it says here. So, unfortunately, there's not hella much I can tell you about this game, so I really had to, because it's a scrolling shooter, what the hell do you say about a scrolling shooter? Like, you move left and right and you shoot things. It's like, so I really had to go to Google for this one, and I found some information. King's Knight is a vertically scrolling shooter, where the main objective is to dodge or destroy all on-screen enemies and obstacles. Various items, however, add depth to the game. As any character, the player can collect various power-ups and increase the character's level. As many as 7 jump increases, 7 speed increases, 3 weapon increases, 3 shield increases. There are also life ups. There are also life downs. Wow, life downs. Other on-screen icons can affect the stage, such as hidden caves, entrance and exits. You don't know what exits is.
Got X6s.
And a secret revealer, which reveals hidden stones that block progress. Finally, there are 4 types of elements to be collected in each level, which are vital to the completion of the last stage. These elements are simply A, B, C, and D. Wow, I mean, it doesn't get any more simpler than that.
Abcadoo.
I got a question, though.
Okay, question.
You have life downs?
Yeah.
That don't involve killing you? That just deduct lives?
Yeah, apparently. So isn't that normally well, it's a power up. It's a negative power up.
Okay. Power down.
Yeah, it's a negative power down.
That's like a unique way of taking away a life without killing you.
It's like almost as a giant X flying at you. I was like, that's a power up I've never gotten. So it is honestly it runs a very basic plot, that many NES role playing games have. So let's see. Princess Claire has been kidnapped by the kingdom of Ezander, and the player must train to defeat the evil dragon and rescue her. Starring as the rescue wizard, Knight Rayjack, the wizard Calvia, the monster Barusa, and the thief Toby. Hi, I'm the thief. My name's Toby.
I am the thief. I am the thief.
Honestly,
I'm greater than both the salami and the bologna combined.
Damn. All right.
Still the best episode.
Now I can't really tell. I could only really give you one good reason why I like this game, and that's because I really like scrolling shooters, and I do like the actual the harder type, which is bullet hell. So there's other different types. You could go ahead and Google it, different types. I'm not really gonna tell you that right now. But as far as reception goes for reviewing publications, King Knight was given a 3 out of 10 by IGN and 3 out of 10 as well on Nintendo Life. So bad from a reviewing standpoint. But again, I don't really know of anyone who's really played King's Knight, so I can't really tell you if they think it's bad or if they've never just heard of it. It could be a combination of both. So, I mean, I can break it out and play it right now. I almost want to. So, I mean, again, what else is there to a scrolling shooter besides the excuse me, or the I guess fun tip is that this game pretty much almost destroyed Square. And
well then.
and which basically
ruined everything.
Almost, and then they gave us Final Fantasy, which changed their world and ours.
That was a weird time for Square. They didn't know what they were doing back then.
I mean, did a lot of people though? Because like the game was the market was being flooded with all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
So, yep, that was number one, King's Knight. You guys, I don't know, you guys pick between you like Rochambeau or something. You can't even really see what's going on, but.
Ultimately, you want to go?
Okay. Okie dokie. So.
Humor me.
All right. I don't know anyone that's heard of this game, and no one believed me when I said I was really excited about it.
Because it sounded like bullshit.
I understand that. But that's how obscure this game is, apparently.
We've been talking about this for like 2 years, everybody.
Yeah. I know.
It's a story that begs repeating.
A story will stand the test of time.
And it also insists upon itself.
Exactly, the story insists upon itself. Blue Guy turns out to have Felix the Cat, a game from my childhood that I love so much. I was super excited. Everyone thought I was just being a jerk.
No. We thought you not a jerk, because being a jerk to someone is like being an asshole to someone. You just sounded like you were like the exclamation just genuinely BS. Because there are times when someone will give you like an exclamation and it's be like, "Oh, bro, you have like Buck Bumble."
Buck Bumble.
Oh, that's the one I forgot about.
I used to have that game. Anyway, before we get too off topic.
Yeah. So Felix Cat came out in '92. Apparently, there's a Game Boy version.
Yeah, I gotta find that one.
So it's just a platformer, really. It's a platformer where you have like an attack button, and you collect. I think it's like magic. What is it? What is it? You collect a magic heart, and it increases your magic ability. And you can go from normal Felix to Felix in a cape and a hat, to Felix in a motorbike, to Felix in a tank. But the tank sucks because you can't really control the shot that well. So you're better off staying in the motorbike, FYI. Then you could get in an airplane on floating levels. I don't know. I just remember playing this game a lot as a kid, and I freaking loved it. But I've never once heard anyone else go, "Hey, you guys know that Felix the Cat game? That was really cool." And so
it's like a really obscure choice. If you think about it, because it's like I never really let's just brawl off the topic really quick. But I've never actually like talked hella old games with people besides you guys. So that's probably why it never came up in conversation.
It's licensed from probably a dead property.
Probably.
And, like, I don't think anybody heard of it. I don't think very, very, very few people played it, because it turns out that game's actually like pretty hard to find nowadays. And I think that's how it came up in conversation that one time where the joke we're talking about is I say, "Hey, it turns out this thing is actually like that I have is pretty rare." And ultimately I was like, "What is it?" I'm like, "It's this game I got, Felix the Cat," and just exploded into joy. It's like, "Dude, you have Felix the Cat," and that's become a joke with us ever since.
Forever a joke. So apparently Felix the Cat was originally so like it was originally a cartoon in 1959 to May 1961.
It was like Mickey Mouse days, yeah.
Oh, by the way, it was developed by Hudson Soft.
Yeah. My guess would be it probably happened because the movie came out in the U.S. in 1991. There was a But the movie was 3 years old by then. But it came out in the UK in 1988, and then
Wow.
and then they released it in the United States in 1991.
Jesus. Makes even less sense.
Yeah, so so Felix the Cat, the video game, then came out in 1992, probably hoping to capture on that amazing, wave of momentum. 37 years in between, or 27 years in between, in between the cartoon and the movie, and then the, 3 years and in between the movie release originally. But yeah, I don't know. I remember watching Felix the Cat. It was probably that movie. And then the game happened, and I was just like, he's a kid. You play like, yeah, I'll play this. And it's actually, when we finally played it at your house, I was like, oh my god, this is actually good.
Yeah.
It like controls well. Like, I don't know. It's well done.
A funny story to add on to that is to tell everybody. Ultima wanted to put it in. I'm like, okay, but I warned him, and like, I remember not liking this too much, so I don't think it's actually that good. But then he turned it on and started playing it. I'm like, man, I must have just sucked then, because this looks awesome.
Yeah.
Honestly, it looked really crisp for the game, for like in comparison to a lot of games of that era. So it was like
it was a really late era NES game, so like it looked really good.
It did. And it played really good.
Like 92 or something, 92, 93 or something like that. Yeah. So fuck.
That's way more than you can ask for an NES game.
Exactly. Oh, but yeah, that's Felix the Cat. If you haven't played it, you should try it. I'm sure there's a ROM out there.
I'm sure
you should get it legally.
If you can find it.
If you can find it.
It's kind of hard to find.
If you can find it.
All right, Blue Guy, your pick.
Sure. Yeah. And this one.
Pick is up.
Oh, this is one of my favorite ridiculous games that I've made both you guys play. Is Pac-Man 2: The New Adventures, which turns out is also known in Japan as Hello Pac-Man.
Just a really quick like story I have about this game is like I apparently like I was actually moving at the time, so I couldn't hang out at the time to do certain things. So when I came back from my what they called an imaginary broken arm, I was introduced with, "You're not savage, you can't beat this game," and I was like, "Fuck it, I'll play the game."
Yeah, that's it. Oh god.
So that's my experience with Pac-Man 2. So
excuse me.
In which I didn't have a broken arm, I was just moving. I was just moving from one residence to another.
Bro, you broke your arm.
Forgot all about that.
All right.
He slipped, fell, landed on his arm.
This game was released in April 6, 1994, and everybody knows Pac-Man. And when you look back at it, you think Pac-Man 2 would be something more like the Pac-Man CE that they had in the Xbox. It's just like Pac-Man, but with a little bit more stuff added onto it. Pac-Man 2 was a straight up like point-and-click adventure game, in a sense, except you didn't tell Pac-Man to do stuff and he would do it. You had to like kind of suggest that he do certain things, and then he might do it if he freaking feels like it. And the object of the game is just, you got this evil queen who's sending ghosts after Pac-Man to stop Pac-Man, not from trying to save the world, but to stop Pac-Man from doing things like in the first levels, pick up a freaking jar of milk. So it's Pac-Man just trying to do things like live everyday life. And you have to help guide Pac-Man along the way, otherwise he will die.
Or just make bad decisions overall.
Or make bad decisions. So the only thing you can do is make him look certain directions. Or you have a slingshot, and you could shoot stuff to like draw his attention to it, or shoot him to stop him from doing stupid crap. Or sometimes I think he knocks himself almost unconscious, and you have to shoot him in the face to keep himself from like dying. But it's oh my god, it's one of those games where it's straight up trial and error. It's like you're walking along, you're going over to the farm, the farmer yells at you, You shoot the farmer kills you. Okay, you gotta start
Shoot the
over.
farmer.
Yeah, you just gotta start over and figure out how to really solve the problem. And it turns out, okay, shoot the bale of hay over the farmer to drop it on the farmer's head. But now you gotta not pay too much attention to the chicken, or the chicken will kill you. It's oh my god, it's uh it's hysterical just how many different ways you could ruin Pac-Man's day.
You
But
know, surprisingly, if proficient at that game is the fourth one of us is Ghost.
oh
Oh yeah.
yeah, he actually got the furthest out of
he's
all of
he's
us
like,
in the
fuck it,
first
I
one.
got this shit,
Yeah.
because he was telling us like he played the game a lot when he was younger. So
Didn't he even put in the code for like the last level? He's like, I know how to beat this. And then he did.
Yeah, something like that.
it's, that was one of those games that he really likes because just like all of us back in the day, we all had like one crappy game that we played the hell out of because there wasn't anything else to play. And that one was his.
or that, or like if
And you're a kid,
because
you don't know any better.
yeah, I
Oh
mean
yeah.
because like for me it was like uh it was where like I didn't have a lot of memories with like really early stuff, like, and then so we played like a lot of like N64 and stuff like that. So like even if the game wasn't really that good, like we had it, and if we could play it together, we did. So
Oh yeah. Pac-Man 2 is I feel like best played with another person at least watching
yeah,
so
so
they
you
can
can
see
so they
how
can
like
suggest or make
ridiculous it
fun
is.
of you all together.
Yeah. But it where it falls into it feel like if it were just what I described, it would be at least okay, but it has like really BS segments where Pac-Man has to get on a hang glider and to yeah, to make him rise in
Gosh, the hang
altitude.
glider section. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
To make
The
him
Donkey Kong rail sections are still worse.
it's
How
yeah, I don't know
dare
about
you?
that one, dude.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to
yeah.
go with it.
We're gonna say
I'm
yeah.
a
No.
It's like as much time as we spent on that one hang glider
it's
section.
it's probably because I feel like I have more control over stupid Pac-Man than fucking stupid rail cart.
Hey man, those are fun novels. Doesn't mean I'm good at them, by the way, guys.
Yeah, and
Oh
this is the
God.
expert talking right here. So I mean, you know, they put quote unquote expert, platforming expert,
Dude,
Ultima,
I freaking hate
citation
those.
needed.
I hate those minecart levels as much as anybody, but I'll take one of them any day over Pac-Man, like on a hang glider. It's it's you have to tell Pac-Man to gain altitude to make him gain altitude, or to make him drop, you have to shoot him. And there's a bunch of obstacles in the way, and those jackass ghosts with boxing gloves on sticks trying to like punch you out of the
Oh yeah,
sky.
because that's efficient.
Yeah. Or like one of them like just straight up throws a big ass rock at you. And sometimes if you shoot the rock guy to make the rock guy go away, I mean he just drops the rock. So you better make sure that when he drops the rock, Pac-Man's just not like right under him. Because that happens too. It's you think that you stopped him and then the rock falls on you anyway. It just oh my god. But yeah, I think there's like two sections like that in the whole game, but they're just that bad. Like, oh, they're so ridiculous. But yeah, that pushes it straight up into like bad game territory. But I love it just because of how like straight up ridiculous that game is. And that's all I got to say about that one.
So we are moving into our second picks, and my second pick. Um, so we're gonna move that much further into the future, which is in 2001, December, the release date of December 12th, 2001 in the North America. My pick is the PS2 game Shadow Hearts. This has come up in conversation a lot between me and Ultima in particular, because whenever we talk about a game that like maybe like oh, like either like, oh, we talk about favorite RPGs, it was like, oh, why don't you put Shadow Hearts on the list, or oh, the things that this and that, put Shadow Hearts in there. So it's like, fuck it, like it is like honestly like I honestly don't know anybody who's played this game, like, and I and it was like one of those games where you kind of You either liked it or you didn't. And I have to admit the game is kind of ugly. Like graphics wise. So
Was it PS2?
no, PS1. Or no,
Okay.
PS2. PS2, sorry. The
I
game,
thought it was an early PS2 game.
yeah, 2001.
Okay.
But I don't really quite remember who like, like when I played it. That's how long ago it was. I might have to go into my PS2 memory card. Um so like you would normally think, linear storyline, random encounters, turn-based battles, traditional elements such as hit points, magic points. Shadow Hearts plays very similar to a lot of other console RPGs, but instead of like when typical RPGs you would have like, oh, attack, okay, I'm gonna attack you, but uh, the game has this unique element they call the Judgment Ring. In Shadow Hearts is used in many aspects of the game, including battles, mini games, or even shopping. Boy, I have to Judgment Ring while shopping. The success of the character's action is dependent on the outcome of the Judgment Ring. Essentially, the Judgment Ring is a circle with different colored segments and a rotating needle, which is stopped by player input. When action is chosen, the Judgment Ring is presented on the screen. Players have to watch the rotating needle carefully as it rotates to hit and hits colored segments. So there's hit areas, critical areas, modulation areas, and like step areas. So yellow, green, blue, orange, red, yellow to blue, and then green. So basically, there's like it's pretty much like a determinant for like a lot of things in the game. Um, let's see. It says, and it says here in a little bit less information, the Judgment Ring is designed to incorporate an element of chance into various outcomes based on the player's skill and is unique to the genre. There's also side quests and an option for additional playthrough, New Game Plus, which I don't think I did at all. With the previous game data saved for a lot of completion of the monster library to attain further collectible items or equipment, or for statistical side-by-side comparison of the first playthrough. This is one of those games. Well, I mean, like the games of the era. There, 3D was like becoming a more normal thing. A 3D character on a sub map and a 2D pre-rendered background representing the environment. Pretty much the battle is pretty much how you would normally see in turn-based battles. You got the selection, but then you get to the Judgment Ring whenever you select to do just about anything. There's actually a thing in the game called Malice, which I remember. Let's get this. Let me get a little explanation here. Malice in Shadow Hearts is the vengeance of enemies that the party has killed. Wow. Malice accumulates every time a player finishes a battle. Most enemies give 1 point of Malice, while bosses give higher amounts. The main character, Yuri, possesses an accessory called a talisman that can display how much Malice has accumulated. It changes from dark blue, lowest, to red, maximum. Once it reaches the maximum, the door to the dark side opens and the Grim Reaper is summoned to the real world. The Grim Reaper manifests itself as the one that Yuri fears the most. Once this occurs, the party will randomly encounter the Grim Reaper, forcing Yuri to fight him alone. All I really remember about the Grim Reaper is I thought it sucked. Because it can range from difficult to moderately difficult, depending on how good you are with the Judgment Ring at times. Let's see. Plot. It takes place in an alternate reality of the real world in the year 1913. The major areas that are visited include many real locations in China and Europe. It starts in late 1913 in a branch of the Trans-Siberian Railroad in Manchuria. The game begins with Yuri hearing a voice in his head telling him to rescue a girl named Alice Elliott, whose priest's father was recently murdered in a most brutal fashion in Rouen, France. This fucking guy, just remember this name just now because it's after a British gentleman by the name of Roger Bacon attempts to abduct Alice from the Imperial Japanese Army himself. Yuri saves her and starts a quest throughout China and eventually Europe to discover Alice's importance and Bacon's intent, the identity of a mysterious voice, and his own relevance. So, So just to put it out there, there was like a lot of the battles in the game like involve monsters. So that's pretty much like, you know, uh, a lot of like grotesque looking monsters actually, I guess in a way.
They're like Lovecraftian type.
A lightweight, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of being in dark areas.
Okay.
Now you're gonna like this one though. You know who published this game in North America was Midway.
Oh my God.
Midway.
Aren't they dead now?
Maybe I can really check and then click on this link. Yeah, it 2009. They defunct in 2009.
Oh my God. Midway.
Products: Gauntlet, Mortal Kombat, NBA Jam, NFL Blitz, Blitz the League, Rampage, Rush series, Spy Hunter, and Cruisin' series. But yeah, I mean, the game itself, I mean, again, it was one of those ones where you either liked it or you didn't. I don't really remember what got me into it. Maybe I just, maybe I just was just like wanting to play an RPG at that point.
Yeah, back then, like we were all about the RPGs. Like anyone that came out, one of us played. I feel like.
RPG.
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 So before there's, and it's also again one of those games that has a good and a bad ending.
Oh.
On an RPG?
No.
Damn.
So I don't remember that much about the game, so I don't remember if I got the I might have gotten the good ending because I'm just gonna read it. It says Alice and Yuri are sleeping in a train going back to her hometown of Zurich. In the good ending, Alice wakes up on the train after a while. After a while, in the bad ending, Alice does not wake up since she sacrificed her soul to Atman to protect Yuri's life. What? That doesn't sound. You know what? Let's not sleep on that because I don't remember her sacrificing her soul to Atman. So
Yeah.
I probably did get the good one.
I
So
guess I shouldn't be surprised if there's a good and bad ending in an RPG. Persona 4 does that, but that's more like, did you figure out who the bad guy was or not? If you didn't, then you suck and you get the crappy ending.
so yeah, that was my pick. Moving a lot into the future after that one. So
Every time I hear like somebody talk about, speaking of which, I've never heard anyone talk about Shadow Hearts except you guys. But I always mix it up with Vandal Hearts. I hear
Vandal
people
Hearts.
talking about that one, and I'm like, is that the game they're talking about? Like, I feel like it wasn't named that, but yeah, like Shadow Hearts. I feel like it's you two guys. I've heard you guys talk about it, and nobody else. Like, I've never heard good nor bad things. It just seems like to not exist outside of your guys' conversations.
Yeah, and I
So
didn't even touch the thing. It was just what Josh did with it.
so really quick set of trivia here that the female lead character Yuri, which is the guy character actually, Alice Elliott was voiced by Veronica Taylor, who voices, guess who? Ash Ketchum.
Ash Ketchum.
Oh man.
So
What's the matter, Pikachu?
what's the matter, Pikachu?
Anyway.
Anyway, moving on to Ultimate's second pick is
Me?
Yeah, you.
Spider-Man, Web of Shadows. So, I guess the DS version of this game was good. I never played that one. Developers Shaba Games Treyarch, and published by Activision. So, I guess the PlayStation 3, PC, Xbox 360, and Wii version were bad. Were the bad versions, I guess. And that's the one I played. I think I might have played it on the Wii. I might have played it on the 360. One of the two. I'm not 100% sure. I feel like the story was like, I enjoyed the story because one, I'm a Spider-Man fan, and two, it had a lot of characters that I feel like you don't see as often. Like, I mean, the Kingpin was in it, and then like they randomly threw in like Luke Cage and Wolverine and
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. And you got to go break someone out of prison.
Nick Fury was mentioned.
Yeah. There was some cool stuff. It obviously involves like the symbiotes, or well, just Venom actually. I think in this situation. And basically the symbiote's like taking people over. It kind of has a similar feel to it as I forget which infamous game, but one of the infamous games might have been the second one. But I don't know. Like I would say the issue is I remember this game controlling pretty poorly. Like, especially considering you had to fight, like you could fight while you're like vertically, like you're horizontal on a wall, and it was just like the camera mixed with like the controls.
That sounds terrible.
Mixed with like the fact that you could fight on like sideways surfaces. It made things a little frustrating sometimes.
That sounds irritating as hell.
Yeah, there was. I'm not gonna sit here and say it was a great game, but it was Spider-Man, and I liked it, and I thought that I don't know. Also Black Widow was in it. I don't know. I just felt like most Spider-Man games. I feel like they usually stick to just the main people in Spider-Man. And like this one, I felt like they branched out a little bit, and I think this was a storyline specifically for the game. Like it wasn't based off any particular comic, and I forgot that it actually had like a good and bad route. So it really was like Infamous before Infamous came out, I think. I don't know. It's fun. I just always enjoyed Spider. I mean, if you let me swing around the city, it's fun. So but it really did control really bad. I can't sit here and act like that's not the case. Those controls were awful. I remember getting very frustrated with the controls. Well, actually, I don't know. It might have not even been as much the controls as the way, like, how like the camera sometimes when the camera changes, the controls change. And
yeah.
And so it's like, oh, now up is left and down. I don't know.
Is it Resident Evil U where you hit up and you're switching between two rooms?
Kind of. Just because, like, you're going from, like, you're on the roof to now you're walking on the side of a building. And it's like, what? Yeah. But, I don't know. It was kind of cool. Definitely not. It's not even. It's really not even. In terms of Spider-Man games, it's probably not even like one of the best ones either. But I think I had it okay. I think I liked the story. That was about it.
Just as a let everybody know, you've played like just about every Spider-Man game, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
This guy knows his Spider-Man games. Like,
I mean, I like Spider-Man games. Even the ones that suck. Yeah, no, the ones that came out right after this were way better. Shattered Dimensions, I still think is just a really good game in general. And that came out 2 years later. Edge of Time was good. It was better than Web of Shadows, but I don't think it was as good as Shattered Dimensions. But yeah.
Okay.
I think
on to the blue guy.
Loogie.
So yeah, my last game. This is one of those ones where I feel like if anyone played this, everyone would love this. But Blast Corps, it was a Nintendo 64 game. Came out in December 22nd, 1997. So it's like, damn, it's like too late for Christmas.
Now that I think about that. He's like, damn, too late for Christmas, this guy.
No wonder like nobody played this freaking game.
It's too late.
Their Christmas gifts were already bought. But yeah, Blast Corps is a really, really fun N64 game. And I feel like when I look back, there weren't really that many good N64 games to go around compared to like other systems. But it's basically Nintendo's version of the end of the world. I love the story in this just because of how ridiculous it is. There is a truck carrying 2 nuclear warheads that's driving to go dispose of them. But and I think like this, I remember reading a comic where they explain the story. Basically, there was some like radioactive leakage that got into the truck and somehow set this truck, because yes, this truck has autopilot, into autopilot, which means that the truck is going to drive in a straight line and not stop for any reason. And
I'm so thrown off by that stupid shit.
yeah,
Like,
it's
so brakes don't count. Brakes don't exist on this truck.
nope,
The
nope.
radiation made the brakes disappear. No, brakes don't exist in this world.
The truck's like, something's wrong. We need to just drive in a straight line and not stop now. Well, yeah, the truck's driving just in a straight line, and it's carrying nuclear warheads, so it cannot hit anything. Otherwise, the truck's going to explode and blow up the entire world, apparently.
Boom.
So, luckily, no mountains got in the way or any, like, significant hills, just a bunch of buildings. So, you take a bunch of construction vehicles, and your job is to just level any building that's going to get in the path of the truck.
Now let me tell you, outside of construction vehicles, there is a occasional robot.
Oh yeah, there's I think there's like
Dude, there was, I think
five
there was like a yellow one that like did like a front flip and then like, would just do it like a front flip stomp.
Yeah, there's a yellow one with a jetpack. You fly up in the air with a jetpack, and you essentially do like a Mario ground pound almost, but he doesn't like butt slam them. He just kind of like does a front flip, like you say, and just dives into the ground to smash the buildings. And luckily, when you smash the buildings, they clear away in just nice cubes.
Nice
And
even surfaces.
yeah, and they don't leave behind any wreckage. They just disappear, and all the people inside the building are saved. Like they're all conveniently evacuated as you're
Now,
smashing them.
no, I have to remember though, with certain vehicles, the destruction is like different. So like if I don't remember which vehicles did this, but like if you didn't actually like make sure and be thorough, like the fucking thing could hit like a sliver of the building and blow up.
Oh yeah, the buildings they're split up into different sections, but not all the sections were that smart. Like you run into some buildings where little slivers would stay behind, but they were kind of hard to see at certain camera angles because this was like an isometric game. You did not have free like view of the camera. You could turn at like 45-degree angles the camera. But yeah, oh my God, that was bad. And but yeah, the game is just generally really fun. But a lot of the vehicles you get were just like you get the bulldozer in the beginning, which is just it's really easy. You just straight up bash straight into buildings. And if you can't blow up something with the bulldozer by just running into it, which was very rare, then they'd leave bombs behind that you could just push the bomb into the building and blow up the building. Or there was like some of the more like funny vehicles is like a giant RC car that what you were supposed to do with that was you had a boost and you had to hit a ramp with the RC car to send the RC car up in the air so the RC car would land on the buildings and just bash through them. Yeah, one of them is kind of boring when I think about it. A motorcycle with rockets, you just shoot the building. But the one vehicle that everybody despises the most is the freaking dump truck, where
That's not made to destroy buildings, man.
yeah, it's the second thing that if everybody that's played Blastcore that I know of, all 2 of you, that played Blastcore say, "Oh, Blastcore was awesome, but I freaking hate the dump truck."
Fucking hate the dump truck.
The freaking dump truck. The way you destroy buildings with the dump truck is you need to like freaking tail slide into the buildings, or like I guess drift into them. But it's almost not quite a drift, but yeah, it's the you need to make impact with the back of the truck.
Yeah, because the front of the truck didn't do shit.
Yeah, if you like hit the building from the front, you're just gonna bump into it. So you have to freaking drift into it. So the tail of the dump truck smacks into the building, and then that will level things just like the bulldozer. But it's really hard to tell like at what angle in the drift you making contact with the building will level it. Sometimes it seems to work, sometimes it doesn't, but it's like I think it's just like unbelievably precise. Like you need to have been drifting for so long, you need to hit it at just the right angle, or you will just bounce right off the building. And then you have to build up your momentum again and waste even more time because that freaking nuclear warhead truck is coming for you. Like
Honestly, it
that's
doesn't move hella fast, but it's like, when you have to use this thing, it's so like, it's like, oh my god, I'm taking forever.
yeah, it's yeah,
And
that
on
truck.
some missions, you even have time limits, even like,
Yeah. I guess you could
So
say that the nuclear warhead truck in a way is kind of like a time limit. It's coming, and you better clear the stuff out of the way because it's not going to stop. But yeah, even there's levels without the truck where it's just like wreck as much crap as possible
yeah,
and time limit.
just a little palate cleanse, I guess you can say.
Yeah, and those ones, oh my God.
Yeah, those ones
If
are
there's
fucking mindless fun.
yeah, if there was a dump truck involved in any level, you knew you were in for a bad time.
Hmm.
But there are not too many dump truck levels, but those are the levels that are infamously hard just because it required like a ridiculous amount of precision. But all the other vehicles are pretty fun, even the ones that are somewhat hard to use, like the RC car. I take the RC car any day over the dump truck because like jumping off of ramps makes more sense than having to like spin into a building. But all the robots were fun too. You
Yeah,
had like dudes that would just somersault on the ground, bash into the buildings.
yeah, like do cartwheels and stuff. Like honestly, the robots were pretty foolproof for the most part. It
Yeah,
like the only problem you would always have if you ever had any problem with like the robots, it was because you missed something.
yeah. There's a funny story about one of the robots. It's a, this one the yellow robot was apparently like not the jetpack one. The jetpack one was yellow, but the one that ran around on foot. Um, apparently was so detailed that they ran out of polygons to make the like left or the right arm. So it only had one arm, and they just left it like that, and they like wrote it off as well. It's got like one big ass arm to smash stuff with, but it was really supposed to have two arms, and they just couldn't fit the other arm onto the model because it was too detailed.
Damn.
Yeah, really really fun. It just one huge downside is once you beat a level, you cannot replay the level again. You could come back in to like clear up any leftover buildings to get like the gold medal for like finding everything and destroying everything. And you could do that with no time limit because the truck's already gone. But you cannot replay a level with the freaking truck. And oh my God. But yeah, that the game is really, really fun. It's just really frustrating how precise they want you to be at some of the levels. And it's not always just the dump truck, but it is mostly the freaking dump truck.
Alrighty.
It's yep.
So
So,
so let's obviously really quick, and then we could do a little discussion. But so we obviously there was always like if there was always more than two games, but we just kind of narrowed it down. So off the top of your head, really quick, what would be an honorable mention?
The Novelist. I don't think anyone's really played that game that much.
Anyone described it to me, it just sounded absolutely horribly
It's
boring.
okay. It's a story-based game where you sort of take control of like this outside entity,
Boring.
and like you sort of influence the people in the house and their lives,
Sounds like The Sims.
and everything you do. Yeah, it's kind of like The Sims in the way where like the player sort of takes the form of this entity that actually affects them, And
Except
but yeah, it's
unlike,
interesting.
except unlike The Sims, it's not. The Sims is not boring. But I mean, it can get boring. But how about you, Blue Guy? You got a you got
Oh
a
man.
you got a quick like honorable mention.
Yeah, I do. Just do one. Probably this game is I think is just abjectly terrible, like objectively. Now that I look back at it, but I played it so much back in the day. Go 13 top secret episode for NES. I love this game, but and I've told people to look at it because it's like kind of unique, and I remember the story back then. It had like way more to the story than I was used to for like an NES game, but it's just like it's straight up bad. It's for most of the game, it's a side-scrolling platformer where sometimes you walk from right to left, which is awful, and B jumps and A shoots, which is awful. But it's also got first-person mazes with no map, so you gotta break out that graph paper if you want to get through it, and it's got
Break out that.
trap doors in the floor sometimes. So good luck figuring out where the heck you landed on, like when you were on the fourth floor and you dropped like two or three, and you didn't even know that you could go down two or three floors. It's oh my God, but yeah, it's a game I played the hell out of as a kid. I love it very dearly, but it's pretty bad. But one I feel like the saving grace is the final boss is this room that is infinitely spawning Hitler clones,
Oh
and the
God.
Hitler clones attack you by just throwing themselves at you and exploding, if I remember right. Or actually, no, they throw their head, they take off their heads and they throw their heads at you
Well, that's morbid.
and they explode. And after you beat all the infinitely spawning Hitlers by stopping the machines,
Infinitely spawning Hitlers, my God.
freaking infinitely spawning Hitlers, dude, and after you stop the machines, the bad guy's brain, which I think is implied is actually like Hitler's brain, is in like a jar. And the jar tries to float away, and you shoot it with your sniper rifle that you have for some reason. And then the game's over. And that last boss fight is so much fun. And I think that's why I played it so much, because that last boss fight was actually really fun. I just wanted to get to that again. Back before save states. Now I should just like get a save
Save
state of
state.
that.
Save state.
So if I had to pick a game right now it could be a combination of both like not very good and like not many people played because of certain circumstances in a way. But my honorable mention is International Track and Field 2000. Yeah.
Did we play that?
Or yeah, we played it and we tried to record it, but it wouldn't record. And then
That's right.
Ultima Googled it and he was like, "How did you get this game?"
Yeah.
Because
Isn't that like that was a Blockbuster rental, right?
yeah, it was technically was not released for retail. So like I bought it because they were, we bought it because they were just selling off their games and we were just like, "Oh yeah, we like this game. We love this game." So we just picked it up. It was like honestly, this game was like the cornerstone of my part of my 64 childhood because it was
Bro, how do you have that game?
it honestly, dude. I'm about to like because it's pretty much self-explanatory. International Track and Field 2000, except it was a button mashing game. And now of any game, like I'm normally I want to say I'm normally kind of humble on most games. Like say unless it's like Call of Duty or something, I'd be like, you know what, I don't know if you're actually that good or not. But this game in general, like I will defend my territory on like fiercely, like me and my brothers,
I'm better pissed in your bush.
like we'll be like fucking like, cause like
fight.
my brother goes see me in Madden.
Yeah.
This is like our together see us in track and field.
Fight,
We
me, bro.
we will fuck you up. Like legit. But anyway, this game was released for the PlayStation N64, Game Boy Color, Dreamcast, and PS2. Well, like it was the N64 version is that version that, you know, and each console version had different had events that the other versions didn't have. Like the PS2 and Dreamcast versions had rhythmic gymnastics. Uh,
That's
uh,
exciting.
the PS1 version had canoeing and cycling sprints. The Game Boy Color version had fencing and table tennis. And like in the N64 version had that ridiculous breaststroke, triple jumps, and high jumps, and weightlifting, javelin. Well, no, actually, it just had it had vault, breaststroke, triple jump, and high jump. So it was the game that had the most events in it, and I still have a memory card that works that still has the data on it. So see me in some track and field. But yeah, so on to some you know, anything else, like, you know, like what I mean, it's these games, like, 'cause if you think about it, like I guess you could say in like the early days, like, you know, really like back in the day, the NES like days, like the reason why like a lot of these games like maybe no one's ever heard of, like especially obviously there's gonna be games that no one's ever heard of, because like there was like a if you think about it, there was like a saturation of games back in the day. Like
Feel like it's only worse now.
yeah, that's true, because it's like, you know, you got a sequel coming out every year, and you know, and it seems like, you know, Activision had the, you know, had it at one point, like, oh, we're gonna stop making Guitar Hero because, you know, we're oversaturating the market. But you release a Call of Duty every year. I don't know, and it's just getting worse and worse. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare is right now garnered the most disliked video game trailer on YouTube right now. Like
So really?
like
What
at
they
at the time I looked at what it was, there were like 30,000 more dislikes than likes.
what's wrong with it? What do people not like about that? I'm
Well,
curious.
I mean, that doesn't really matter technically.
I
Like
guess
J-
not.
J-
honestly from ever since I mean, who's doing it this time? Infinity Ward?
yeah.
Yeah, ever since the original Infinity Ward, like Infinity Ward guys were basically cast out, and who did eventually make Titanfall. Um, like the Infinity Ward Call of Duties have just been shitty. Like
Uh,
basically we've kind of just been like, oh, we're just letting you guys release this, and we're just gonna await the next Treyarch game.
the Treyarch ones used to be like the weird ones.
Yeah, because the more obscure ones, but they did give us Call Nazi Zombies, which was probably one of the greatest things that's ever happened to Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you think about it, like Treyarch were the classic like war people at the time. So you know, they did all the World War games and stuff like that for Call of Duty, like, you know, World at War, and then Black Ops, and then now
Yeah.
futuristic Black Ops 3, which is not nearly as bad as um, what was Advanced Warfare, and I honestly, that game lost me quicker than any Call of Duty game in history. So
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, this was a good
I'm sure part
discussion.
of it's just jumping on the bandwagon. Like some people start to downvote, you know.
That, you know, honestly, that could be true. But if you think about it, like Advanced Warfare really wasn't that good and that was an Infinity Ward game too.
Well,
So
as soon as we stop buying Call of Duty by the millions, maybe they'll fix things.
because I'm normally a Call of Duty person, and I'm thinking about just buying Battlefield this year.
Battlefield 1.
Battlefield 1.
Xbox 1. Wom. Wom.
So
Wom.
I don't know, guys. Some parting words. Let's just wrap it up here.
I don't know.
So-
Is there any random games that you people like that we've never heard of? Or that suck and you're like, I swear it's not that bad?
Random words of advice. It's okay to like things that other people don't like. Sometimes it's better that way.
Exactly.
That's why I liked
But I reserve the
our
right
whole.
to tell you your game's crap. No, I'm just kidding.
That's why I like growing up in the era we grew up in, because we kind of just, if unless you played video games, we kind of just kept to ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
There wasn't as much. This
we
is the best
you
thing
know what's
ever.
funny?
This is the worst thing ever.
You know what's funny? It's like we only then realized later that the games that were actually bad that we liked are bad, but fuck it, who cares?
We still like them anyway.
Yeah, for real. So like what you like. Don't listen to the haters, if you can call them haters.
The haters.
Unless you're like 10 years old and you don't got haters.
Got haters.
Like what you like. Keep playing the bad video games, man.
Hey, bad video games need love too, you know.
Unless
Like-
it's just a game no one's ever heard of, but I doubt like these days that's not actually the case unless it's an indie game. So
I'll still play Go 13 or Crash in the Boys Street Challenge, another game that I forgot of. It's okay.
Crash and the Boys.
I'll play some. I'll go get the GameCube out and play some Cubics.
Cubics.
Oh god.
Oh,
that's like
a
a
thing I forgot about.
That's a game my sisters play, but back in the day, but
Freaking Cubics.
that and like Barnyard and stuff like that. Like, you know, games made after video, like cartoons and movies and stuff like that.
Shoot. Break out Bass Hunter 64. Go to town with that one.
All right, guys. I guess we'll just wrap it up here. Again,
Alright.
Wrap
play-
it up, B.
play your favorites, man, even if they suck.
Yep.
Fucking this is the Kings of Rice.
Felix the Cat, play it. Ultima.
And Blue Guy.
Comment, subscribe, tell us if you've got any of these. Peace out.
Later.